And of course, as I said, in the Radio Fire newsroom here in Baltimore, Nikki in the building. How you doing, Nikki? So the I've talked about the Stronach Group, who owns Pimlico Racetrack, among other tracks here in Maryland. And a historic agreement has been reached to keep the Preakness at Pimlico. Some people are so, oh my God, we must have the Preakness. Why? Why you want the Preakness? Because it's always been here since I was a little kid. No, but what's the reason why you want to have it? Because that's all I just remember it always being here. Did you ever go to the Preakness? Oh no, I never went. Did you know what I mean? It's just some people are just like that. You grew up in the Park Heights area, right? Yeah. Was it a big deal to people that grew up in Park Heights? Yeah, it was a big deal. Have you ever gone? No. What made it a big deal? Well, actually, it brought a lot of revenue to the community. Okay, you sound like you work for the mayor's office. And when you say it brought money to the community, you mean the drug dealers were able to sell more weed? What do you mean? It's all right. I mean, there's not weed in the neighborhood? You don't think it's weed in the neighborhood? Okay. All right. Yeah. So you think you can buy weed in every neighborhood? Okay. All right. Okay. So a multi-party agreement, depending on a legislative change, has been reached to keep the Preakness in Baltimore, right? The middle jewel of Americans racing Triple Crown. You know what that means? All right, so there are 3 horse races that make up the jewel, and the Preakness is one of them. Triple Crown. But anyway, the race course potentially could stay in Baltimore for at least another 30 years if this agreement is all the way done. So I say that this agreement is going to gentrify Park Heights. Yes, I said it. And whether that's good or whether that's bad, that's what's going to happen. Well, I think that was the plan. Yeah. I think that's the plan. So I want to talk about this deal, this proposal. And I think that this is one of the reasons why, the main reason why, Catherine Pugh, former mayor, is not in office. Because she tried to go so hard to keep this horse race in Baltimore that she tried to strong arm the Stronach Group, and they flexed on her. Jack Young, the current mayor, who is standing in for her, now is the mayor. He has been very open for this deal, and this deal is on the table. Catherine Pugh was stronger about this, and I think that is one of the main reasons why she is no longer downtown Baltimore in City Hall. So let me say that. The Healthy Holly book scandal started the same time when she filed a lawsuit about the Preakness staying in Baltimore. Same time. So I am the only person that I know talking about that ever talked about it during the time. But that's neither here nor there. She has come and gone. So anyway, this deal relies on an extension of the racetrack facilities renewal account, which, funded by casino revenue, would lead to a new grandstand. That's that building with the windows that the people are looking out from. That's called the grandstand at both Pimlico and Laurel Park. Okay, so they're going to get, in this deal, 2 new grandstands. Okay, and like I said, it's owned by the Stronach Group. a 30-degree rotation of the racing oval at Pimlico, and this is going to be developed privately, okay? New stabling for 1,500 horses and dormitories at Laurel, okay? So that is essentially the place where the horses, you know. So they're housed in Laurel. They're going, say again? They're housed in Laurel. You said in Laurel. Right. Right. That's where the horses stay. No, they're going to be new stabling at both. Oh, okay. And the addition of a synthetic track. Okay. So when we talk about synthetic, people talk about synthetic weed, synthetic drugs, right? Same concept here. One of the things is that the racetrack, being an actual racetrack, needs a lot of upkeep. This can be expensive. In the modern technology era, synthetic track is going to be cheaper to maintain. And so a synthetic track at Laurel, and they want this current dirt and turf surfaces is going to have synthetic and the current dirt and turf. Okay. All of that. Why? We'll get to that in a second. So the former Bowie racetrack, which was being considered as a year-round training center, would be sold and then donated to Bowie. So the city of Bowie would get their Bowie track. Here, take that, keep that. Y'all can have that. Do whatever y'all want to do with that. We're going to fix up the Pimlico track in Baltimore, and we're going to fix up the Laurel Park track that's in Laurel, Maryland. Okay? So the Baltimore Sun reported this first, so we want to put that out there. Now, before I give thoughts on my thoughts on this, I want to dissect this, okay? You have this racetrack sitting in the middle of an urban center, an inner city community, a poor community. For the amount of money that we're talking about putting in this racetrack, it does not balance out for the poverty that is around the racetrack, which tells me they're going to change that. In order for me as a business owner to say I'm going to put $353 million in this building, but the outskirts have, and anybody that's from Baltimore, we're talking about, what is that street? That's Park Heights and Belvedere. Is that Belvedere? Yeah. And Northern Parkway, right. So we're talking about the hood. I mean, let's just keep it funky. We're talking about the hood, right? They're going to want to change that. They're going to want to gentrify that. Now, gentrification can be an ugly word, depending on who you are, right? Depends on who you are in the equation. So anyway, their attorneys, of course, have put all this together, and this is going to be a transformation. This is going to be a significant difference to that area of Park Heights. So where's this money coming from? How are they going to do this? People just say money. I get frustrated when we talk about the president fussing with Ukraine over money they're going to give this country, when we have so many people here in this country that could benefit from this money much more. I've said it many times. Fuck Ukraine. That money could have went to Flint. Right. A piece of that money would fix Flint. Right. Fuck Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them. And it's not like fuck y'all, but fuck them. You know what I mean? They can find money for anything that they want. So why we should bare minimum have the easy fixes fixed. We're talking about a 30-year process for this facility, and they're a private company, can do what they want to do. But I'm just saying they found a way to get this and we're going to break down this deal in a second. They found a way to get all this stuff done. We can fix some of the basic needs of the cities in the country. Because these things are so difficult to do because of the red tape and the bureaucracy that happens, that's what makes people disenchanted with politics. Because they're like, you can do this, we can have soldiers over here, we can put people on the moon, we can do all this kind of stuff, but we can't fix some simple shit. Why are all the streets all bumpy and messed up? Let's just some simple stuff, right? I remember growing up, trash used to come my neighborhood on Wednesday mornings and Saturday mornings, like clockwork. And I would be like, I would hear the trash truck going up our street, like, oh shit, I gotta put the trash out. I know I'm supposed to. Mom was like, you know you're supposed to put that trash out last night. I'm running around the house trying to grab all the trash, put the trash out, because when they went up the street, they would, I never understood how they did this. They would back up our alley and then drive down. So when they back up, but it was a noisy thing for them to go up the alley. I would hear them going up the alley. Oh shit! And I'm grabbing all the trash cans in the house and dumping cans, and take it down. We had 2 big trash cans. I'll put them out at the back of our house. But when they go up the street, I would know I would have time to run and do it. My point is that they picked up trash twice a week. The city was cleaner because they picked up trash twice a week. And when it was random stuff, they picked it up. Now we ain't picking up that trash. You supposed to sit the trash over here. What color is that can? That can don't have no top. We ain't picking up that trash. Like, what is this? Whatever. That's just crazy. I said all that to say they cut down the trash cycle days because they claimed they didn't have the money, right? Maybe y'all need to get the Stronach Group's lawyer because they found $353 million, right? We need to get better attorneys. So $353 million, they're going to transform this into a slick, better looking, synthetic field racetrack. 2 of them, okay? And this is going to be done with the Maryland Stadium Authority issuing 30-year bonds in the amount of $348 million, okay? Now, the Maryland Stadium Authority funded, they got money, okay? They got money. Don't get it messed up. They funded Camden Yards for the Orioles and M&T Bank Stadium for the Ravens, okay? So they're not bull crapping. Now, for this whole thing to work, though, for the whole funding piece to work, the General Assembly has to change the law. They have to extend the racetrack facilities renewal account, which currently funds purses and matching funds for capital improvements, but are phased out in 2026. This is a 30-year thing, so, you know. Okay? So they're phased out in 2026 and expire in 2032. The casino companies may oppose this extension. They may say, nah, we good. Or what I'm thinking is going to happen is they're going to do it because they're going to make it worth their while. Now, if the casino funding is extended, here's how the payback works. The bonds are going to be paid back $17 million a year, with the Stronach Group paying the bulk of the payments. But the Horsemen are going to contribute $5 million. The city of Baltimore will contribute $3.5 million. And, so that's how that will work. A total of $199 million would be allocated for the demolition of the current Pimlico structure and the construction of a new grandstand and ship-in barns, with $174 million for Laurel's various projects. So that's a lot. That is a lot. The property, now here's where it gets interesting, as if that wasn't interesting right there. The Pimlico property would be donated to the city of Baltimore, with the Stronach Group's Maryland Jockey Club signing a 30-year lease to operate a spring meeting to include the Preakness. So the city's going to own the property, and they're going to be the tenants. The Stronach Group's going to be the tenants. And you asked why? What's the benefit? Why would they want to do that? Right. Upkeep and different things like that's going to be this is the city's property. So you know the difference between being a renter and being the homeowner. Right. Yeah. So look at it in simple terms like that. So they're going to the city of Baltimore would own the property. A significant portion of the property would be available for development. Now, so did I say that they're going to be rotating 30 degrees? Yeah. They're going to be rotating 30 degrees. This is going to gentrify the area. Now, a new grandstand would be available for year-round use for community events. You can rent it out for parties. So that means Flywire gonna come through and have a nice party. You know what I mean? Something like that, which means we'll be there. But you know what I mean? Under the plan, the shipping barns could also be used for events like a farmer's market or stuff like that. Stuff that hayride for the kids, things like that. They're trying to make it interesting for the community. And when I say community, we're going to talk about the community in a second. Similarly, the proposal is also going to call for use of athletic fields to be built in the track's infield. So, that area, so you got the track. This is why that synthetic field is important. You have that track going around, and then you have grass in the middle, right? We can put some athletic fields in the middle. This is all to make it nice for the community. When we talk about community, we're going to talk about that in a second. I want to keep hitting that point. So we have that. Now, this area was formerly used for a Preakness Day infield concert, right? Concert. These things are still going to happen. This is all in addition to. So it'll take about 4 years to make all of this. But they said the Preakness is still going to continue while the construction is going on. And so that is a lot. That is a lot. How is this going to affect the Park Heights area? Oh, wait. Are you thinking that it's not going to affect the Park Heights area? This is going to be Park Heights reimagined. This is going to be a different Park Heights. Does this mean that the Jewish folk are going to be moving further down? Maybe. Does this mean that the folk that live there currently, we're talking about Belvedere, we're talking about Northern Parkway, the people in that area, I think long term, they're going to be moved out. You realize that was the plan anyway. Absolutely, that was the plan. They knocked down, we brought them there now, they knocked down all of those dilapidated houses. Correct. And they've done that for a reason. Right. So I just think that this is I think this was the plan all along. This absolutely was the plan all along. We may not have known about it, but it's just coming to light now. But this is definitely. Yes. It's part of is this a bad plan or a good plan? Well, my views on gentrification, I don't think are very popular. Very popular with who? The gentrified people? With the masses. I look at it as a somewhat, I wouldn't say good thing. I would say I'm a little indifferent. I feel like this. I feel like maybe this is an opportunity or motivation for those of us who are not on that game and are doing to get our hustle mentality on, so we can return to our neighborhoods after they're gentrified and still live there. It doesn't mean it's forcing all of us out. It just may mean that we need to step up our game so that we can afford to live in these neighborhoods. That's I look at it that way. Okay. Instead of that's how you as far as gentrification. Yes. Yeah. Gentrification. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Right? Yeah. So the Maryland Stadium Authority has a lot of power. the fact that they're able to issue 30-year bonds for $348 million says a lot to me. So when people we throw the word bond around a lot. Give me the definition of bond as it relates to this topic.
A bond is a certificate issued by a government or a public company promising to repay borrowed money at a fixed rate of interest at a specified time.
Yes, that is true. So that's the bond, and they're going to repay that back $17 million per year between the Stronach Group and City of Baltimore and the Horsemen.
Okay, I've heard you say horsemen. Are these the jockeys? Like, who are the horsemen?
Yes.
That's what they're. When they say jockeys, they're calling them horsemen. Like a horseman. Okay.
Not to be confused with the club music group that I produced for. Yeah. So these negotiations, as I said earlier, these negotiations took place over the last 4 to 5 months and followed a lawsuit that has since been dropped by the city of Baltimore against the Stronach Group. Previously, they said that they could not commit to holding the Preakness here in Baltimore beyond 2020, which got Catherine Pugh heated. She's okay, you're not taking these horses out from out of here. We love these horses.
I think she was trying to block it. She probably wanted them to stay and not involve gentrification. That's just my theory, and they didn't like that.
Now, I don't think that you're wrong with that. So if that is the case, is she a hero or a villain?
I mean, if that's the case, she's definitely a hero.
Hero how?
Because she was fighting for the people. Because they're definitely more. I mean, okay, so I know I said I wouldn't say I was for gentrification. I'm just trying to see the silver lining in it. However, a lot of the people that are going to be misplaced or because of gentrification are going to end up homeless because they're not going to be able to afford to live there. So that either forces them into neighborhoods with high concentration of affordable housing, which at some point in time that's going to run out, like we did. So she's definitely a hero, in my opinion.
Yeah. My issue is this. So when people are moved out, we don't address the reasons that got them in a situation where they were pawns of bigger people. You know what I mean? So if they're moved to another area, somewhere in the county, somewhere else in the city, they're still going to be poor. They're still going to be disenfranchised. You know what I mean? So they're just not right here in front of our racetrack. You know what I mean? It's over there. And I think that the bigger issue that causes these things to happen has to be addressed first. Because whether the people live in Park Heights and they're in a certain financial space or they're moved somewhere else, it's still the same. It's just we don't have to look at it right here when we betting on these horses. So I think that this is ultimately slowly Park Heights is going to change the way that it looks. So we see right now, however old you are right now, let's count 30 years from now how old you're going to be. Well before 30 years, Park Heights is going to look different. It's going to look significantly different. And that's not the only area in the city that they're going to change. But all things change and all things come to an end. And this broadcast soon will be coming to an end. But of course, you listen to the Radio on Fire News Network, the voice of urban America. You can advertise your product, service, or event or upcoming project. With Radio on Fire, our broadcasts reach over 350,000 people per month. Get your message in front of the audience that you need with targeted social media campaigns, commercials, on-air mentions, and giveaways. Visit radioonfire.com/promo for pricing details. We will be back on Monday with a new episode of the show. As always, miss any episodes, radioonfire.com/Diamond K. Thank you, Nikki, as always. And make sure we got this out the way. As I said earlier, top of the show, that the app is coming. Radio on Fire News Network is launching a brand new app for Apple and Android devices. Take us with you while you're on the go. Get Radio on Fire podcast, live streams, merch, and member content in your pocket. Watch and listen, however, wherever you want. The Radio on Fire News Network app launches October 31st for Apple and Android devices. RadioOnFire.com/app. Also on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube. Search Diamond K. I have a lot of music out there, and more music coming. Got my mixes. My mixes are out there on all streaming platforms. Music that I have produced and done. So check that out. Did I say thank you already, Nikki? Thank you again. Thank you again. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, at The Diamond K Show. Also, like Radio on Fire on all social medias for your chance to win prizes and surprises. A lot of surprises coming up. A lot of prizes coming up. All right. See you guys tomorrow.